So I moved to Ghana because I felt called to. I have always, well, for as long as I've known, wanted to move to a country where people were melanin rich and looked like me. I wanted to be part of the majority. Also, being a creative, I wanted to embark on a journey where I could immerse myself into something new. And Ghana provided me the opportunity to meet those needs that I needed to serve, you know? I also do feel that I got called in by the lower cost of living, but I'll tell you a bit more about that soon. So the main thing that I hoped for when I moved to Ghana was warmer weather. My gosh, I'm from the UK and boy, the island girl inside of me was just not dealing with the cold very well. And I hoped for good weather, and Ghana's provided. Yes, the last 2 months here have been a bit like, what is this? But now that I think about it, if I'm complaining that it's cold in Ghana and I can still go out with a t-shirt on, I ain't got no problems. So let's talk about the highs before the lows. The main thing that Ghana has done for me is helped me grow as an individual. The personal growth is real. I decided to move here solo, and I give thanks that I have a community that comes and visit me, etc. However, I have grown in ways that I could never imagine. Like, this infrastructure here is challenging, or should I say, lack thereof infrastructure. And being able to navigate it has really just showed me my strength and my ability to do anything I put my mind to. In regards to personal growth and development, it's helped me to become more economical and care about the environment more, even without trying. So let's talk about water, for example, and just utilities in general. I'm grateful that the cost of these utilities here really is, for me, living singly, it's really, really low. I'm so grateful. So it's not about needing to top up utilities and not being able to make the payments or feel like pulled to pay them because it's a strain. The utilities here, unfortunately, like water and electric.
What happened to the positivity, man?
At times it can be inconvenient, particularly water. I have a water tank and I have to call companies to come and fill it up when it's finished. There's no gauge telling me that water is going to finish. And also having the restriction caused by myself of not knowing the language. At times, it's hard to communicate with service providers in order to know when you're actually coming to bring me my stuff. And even when they do tell and communicate when they're going to be bringing the water, I could call at 10 a.m. and they don't come until 8 p.m. at night. It's helped me to become more economical because of the inconveniences sometimes. And it's also just helped me to learn how to live with a lot less. See, we have power cuts here. I give thanks. I have a rechargeable light in front of me. But it's just helped me to be able to live with a whole lot less. My area, we give thanks that the power cuts are not so frequent, but they happen. Maybe once every 2 weeks or so, I might have a power cut. I might not have a power cut for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I might have 2 power cuts in the next week. But it's helped me to be like, it's okay, there's no problem kind of thing. And, to utilize my energy more efficiently, to maybe come off the screen time and read a book. It's been good in that way. Some of those challenges are actually helping in my personal development. An unexpected beautiful thing about Ghana is even being in Accra, it being the major city, one unexpected thing has been being able to reconnect with nature.
Seeing fruit on trees, coconuts, papayas, mangoes, pears.
It's just beautiful to see life just all around me. And talking about that, I even had a bird reproduce on my balcony. And that was an experience that I've never been able to see before being a Londoner. I'm sure there are Londoners who have, but this one hadn't. Now let's get into the lows. The rails. One of the major lows is probably just having my bubble popped. Being a person of the African diaspora, a Jamaican living in the UK, raised in the UK, etc., I really did crave for that connection of knowing my Africanness, right? And moving here was kind of like a homecoming for me. But I guess there was a part of me that thought that people would be like, oh, my sister, etc. And that hasn't always been the case. Do you know what? I realized how audacious that was of me. Yes, yes, we understand all the ramifications of slavery, of white so called supremacy, and how it can kind of like mess with our identity as Black people of the diaspora. But don't think that Africans on the continent, Ghanaians, are not struggling from those same problems. It's just that their inequalities, their pains and woes, it's under the same so-called white supremacist system, but it's just done under a Black face. So racism hits them in a different way to where they don't even, a lot of the time, people don't even see or know what racism is, and it's like a fallacy to them. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, my accent is more of a representation of who I am than my being, my physical being. So as soon as that voice is heard,
Money, 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 money. Money.
I'm just a Nebroni to some people, and that is hard to swallow. Another difficult thing about moving to Ghana is moving from a developed country and moving to an underdeveloped country is quite difficult because you don't really understand the lack of infrastructure until you're living in it. Yes, I moved to Ghana without visiting first, and like I said in my another video, I don't recommend it. Go and watch that. But I've been to other African countries, West African, East African, and I understand that there's a difference in the development, right, in a lot of these countries. But going there for a holiday and then coming and living are two different things. And that day-to-day inconvenience, like getting used to it, is a real struggle. It can just be quite irritating at times. Take, for example, just simple travel. The roads are not great in a lot of places. The cars that people drive is not up to par. Sometimes you just have to be breathing in smoke and stuff, and that can be quite frustrating and difficult. Another struggle since moving to Ghana. Now this one kind of hurts my pride, right? But it's real. I've learned that there's a part of me that has adapted that white supremacist culture or mindset that I was running away from. There's times where I might catch myself feeling as though something is like incompetent because of a way that people are doing things. And I catch myself in that all the time. And I realize that it's a me problem. And that's been really a humbling experience. Yeah, that one is bitter. Yes, the cost of living in Ghana, it's a lot cheaper than the UK. And I know sometimes there's this perspective that in the UK you have to pay for everything. And yes, you have to pay to breathe in the UK when you're thinking about living there, etc. But in the UK, I can go out for free. I can just go and take a lovely, relaxing walk in the park. But here, going for a walk is not peaceful. Not in Accra, at least. Say I want to find a peaceful place, I would have to pay to go to a park, or I'd have to pay to go to a beach. And I love the beach, so I pay. Peace in Ghana is true, but it's a different kind of peace than what you would expect. So as for cost of living, that's been a shock for me. Like some things that I've seen in the supermarket has been like, what? The equivalent of £12 for one bell pepper? One cranny looking bell pepper? What is that? Say, for example, the Chochos being from the UK, people from all over the world come to the UK and can understand our transport system without speaking the language. But here, if you don't speak the language, boy, you better just figure it out. So I use Bolt and Uber, and that adds to my expenses. And also, I use Bolt and Uber because of the level of comfortability that I'm used to. So it's just not what I expected and like how low it would be because of what I am willing and prepared to live with and to how I feel comfortable navigating this country. So yeah, what I've learned in Ghana is mainly resilience, definitely patience. Patience is a virtue. Also, beautifully, what God has pushed me to do is, you see, there's poverty in the UK, but there's also a system that's there to help those in poverty. And being from the UK, my community is there. So God has helped me to step my hustle up and to really, like, if I'm going to go for my dreams, go for it. There's less distractions. And that has been beautiful because trust me, poverty here, it doesn't look pretty. But at the same time, it's helped me to redefine success and just celebrate those so-called small wins because they are big. And I'm so proud of myself for taking these steps. Whew, I ain't gonna lie. It's not easy, but it's beautiful. So I would tell anyone that's moving to Ghana, considering moving to Ghana, like really check your why, because if your why is strong enough, it can help to pull you through those challenging times. Because if you're coming from a country in the West like me, if you're coming from the UK, the USA, the cultural adjustment, the cultural shock is real. So make sure you understand your why and understand if it's strong enough that you can sit in it, that you can move in it, that you can defy the odds of it, that you can live purposefully with it. If you are moving to Ghana, considering moving to Ghana, I have a free template of just the things that you will need to travel into Ghana. Check it out. The link's in the description. I hope it's helpful. So yeah, that's me 6 months in. I'm grateful. Thank you, Ghana. I am Adanish, Queen of Heart. Peace on the increase.